Hope everybody is having a good week so far. Excited about getting back at home this week, having a home game here. Looking forward to a great crowd. Sounds like we're getting close there. We have about 43 or 44,000 tickets out. We're still trying to get as many out as we can for this final Saturday or for this game coming up. Understand that the UTEP game is close to sold out already, so that's exciting. Things are moving in the right direction there. Don't know what time that game's going to be just yet. But we need to really focus in on this one. Really need to make sure we have our best game this year on Saturday night. That's what I told our team it's going to take. It's going to take us playing our best that we've played all year, 4 quarters of great football. There's a saying that we've said in New England and others that before you have to win, you have to keep from losing. And our goal this week is to take care of the ball, not have a lot of penalties. The first game we had 11 penalties. The second game we had 5 turnovers. So we're looking to have a clean game, disciplined. We had 5 penalties this past game. It was a good job going from 11 to 5. Keep bringing that down. Turnovers, we had 2 the first game, 5 this game. We got to bring that down. And if we could do that, we need to do simple better. We need to do simple better and find a way to put ourselves in position to compete, knowing that we've got an offense that is a challenge. They're a 2-back offense that runs power extremely well, similar or somewhat similar to North Dakota State of a year ago. We know that there's going to be a challenge there. Defensively, we know that the defensive coordinator came from the SEC, has a really good feel on stopping the passing game and some of the things that he does with his coverages and his fronts. So we got a challenge there, and then we have to do a great job in special teams. So it's going to take all 3 phases for us to have the outcome we want, and our goal is to go out there and play our best ball.
Go to Justin and then Brian.
When you looked at Jacob Cowing's tape from UTEP, what stood out to you?
As production, the amount of run after catch that he's able to get to, the fact that he was able to put up on 67 catches, I think it was over 1,100 yards, his ability to make guys miss in space, the toughness that he shows blocking, the toughness that he shows catching the ball over the middle. Really, there's been no surprises with Jacob Cowing. From what we saw on film to what we've seen in person, Jacob Cowing has been the consistent, soon-to-be pro, we'll call it. And as he's gotten better, stronger, I think that just experience gets you better. But Jacob's film showed the type of player that he was going to be when he got here.
And he was being recruited by a lot of schools. What was the communication like with him? What do you think ultimately sold Arizona?
Well, I think I'd be naive to think it wasn't at least 51% that he has a son here. And the family aspect made a huge difference for Jacob. To be able to come back home, to be within an hour and a half of his son. He grew up in the state of Arizona. To be closer to his mom. All those things were a huge part of it. The other part of it that I think he really appreciated about us was the way we were going to use the wide receivers in our offense and the way we throw the football, the importance that we place on wide receiver development and throwing the football. He came in here, had 85 catches in his first year, and our goal is to help him get back to that number again this year and be one of those wide receivers that has, really historic numbers. If we can get him to another 1,000-yard year and another 80 so catches.
Brian and Troy.
I know every game has equal importance on the schedule, but considering that this is the last one before Pac-12, you look at this as maybe the last opportunity to fine-tune and tweak things?
Yeah, Brian, I talked to the guys about 4 quarters of the season. This is the end of the first quarter, and we got to win every quarter, and that's what we talk about. You want to go 8-4, you got to win every quarter, right? You want to go better than 8-4, you got to do better than just go 2-1. So for us, we got to win this quarter. We're putting, Coach Speak would say every week you're trying to go 1-0, right? And that's of course the case. But with this game coming off of the type of loss that we had, we're not settling for moral victories. This isn't year 0 any longer, where we were trying to compete for 4 quarters and seeing if we could stay healthy for 4 quarters. We went into Starkville expecting to win. We're disappointed we didn't. And now it's our responsibility this week to channel all of those frustrations and then see how good we can be. You know, we want to see how good we can be by 11:30 on a Saturday evening.
Troy and then David.
What are some of the areas you want to see improve defensively in this game? What are some of those things you're looking at? And how would you assess their performance so far through the first 3 games now, coming up now through the season?
UTEP's performance or our defense's
Your
performance? Well, I think our defense certainly in the first 2 games has shown the value of getting bigger up front. You could see that the size of our defense has enabled us to put more pressure on the quarterback. We've held teams to, I think, under 200 yards passing this past week and pretty close to it the first week. We held team in 2 games. We've given up in regulation time 27 points. And that's 13 and a half points a game in 8 quarters. That's really good. It's really, really good. 17 points a game when you count the overtime. I think that tackling is going to be at a premium this week. It's going to be critical. They've got 2 running backs. One guy's close to 220 pounds. One guy's 230 pounds. Those guys are big boys to tackle. They've got a very good tight end in number 87. They've got a very good move tight end fullback in 43. And those guys are going to bring a challenge to our linebacking core and our D-line. When it comes to our passing game, they got our pass defense. They got a quarterback that's thrown for over 7,800 yards in his career, veteran, and we have to make sure that we do a great job defending the pass, defending their receivers, not letting number 1 get going, and we know it's going to be a challenge.
David and then Jason.
Ted, what do you like about the way that your linemen are picking up outside rushers? There was 2 plays in particular, one in the first half where Jordan kind of peeled back off his initial block to get an outside guy and set up a nice play. And then there was one in the second half where you hit T-Mac over the middle because Jonah was able to come off and hit an outside guy. Just the pockets have been real nice for Jaden first.
Yeah, I think that our protection has been at a very, very high level. We had 1 sack in the game against Mississippi State. Can't even remember if we had one against NAU. 1 sack in each game. So, and we throw the ball 35 times a game. So when you're sitting there, we've had 70 attempts, had 2 sacks. And we've believed going into the season, a healthy Jordan Morgan, a healthy Jonas Evanea, those are 2 outstanding college offensive linemen. And then the 3 guys inside, I know Jonah was playing more inside this past week, but the 3 guys inside that are going to really help us. I'm really hopeful on Polito. I still haven't gotten the final word there. If not Polito, then we'll obviously have Borjan and Jonah again in their combination. But, the way we're protecting right now, it's giving us an opportunity to take shots down the field when we want. It gives us an opportunity in our screen game because we can get guys out athletically. And then when you can create a dish or a pocket like we've been able to create with the edge rushers, being able to move them from the core, it's enabled Jaden to work in the pocket a little bit longer and be able to find some guys down the field at a little bit later in the down.
Can you speak to Jaden kind of being patient? I know he hit Jonah twice on screens where he really kind of let Jonah get closer to the first down marker before he threw the pass. Just the patience.
Yeah, I think that as we're growing in the offense, I think Jaden's 72% completion over 2 games, which would be obviously a career high mark for him. I think it'll be a university mark. I think Nick is at 69%, is the highest they've ever had for a year. We've got 10 games left to play, but we got to try to see if we can maintain completing 3/4 of our passes. With that comes patience. With that comes the ability to throw checkdowns and understanding. I'm going to show them today the Eagles' first 19 passes of their game against the Patriots. They threw it to a wide receiver once. And you just have to understand, let the game come to you. If you let the game come to you and you play with patience, you'll have no problem completing passes to wide receivers at the appropriate time. But in this case, our running backs are really good at catching the ball.
Jason and then Justin.
Two questions. One, how does Jaden handle criticism? In your experience, how would you like to see the quarterbacks handle criticism? And then just an injury update beyond.
Yeah, the easy one is the injury update going into this game. Wyatt's cleared, Stooks is cleared, Dalton Johnson is cleared. So the only person that we're just waiting on is Polito, and that we'll probably know today or tomorrow morning. When it comes to criticism, I don't know. I don't think I'm the easiest guy to play for when it comes to a mentality of perfection. When you look for things to be right all the time and you want it to be perfect and you want to give guys an opportunity to be successful. I'm probably more critical on myself than anybody is when it comes to, have I given him the best opportunity to be successful? Have I made it clear to him what we're looking for? Is there something I need to do differently or better? Criticizing a quarterback can go either way. Are you going to criticize them in the confines of your office? Are you going to do it in front of the team? Are you going to do it in the locker room, on the practice field? It's all based upon, let's call it, how the team is approaching a given day or a given week. When it comes to standard and expectations, I could say it's very high. There's a standard to play here. There's an expectation to play how we want our quarterbacks to play, the amount of time that we ask him to give to football, whether that be to his body, whether that be in the weight room, whether that be the training room, the film room, or on the practice field, staying after, leading the way. There's a very high expectation. And if he doesn't fulfill that expectation, there's a significant critique. But I would say this year in comparison to last year, it's not even close with his work ethic. I do not necessarily criticize on turnovers as much as I like to teach on turnovers and see what we can do to eliminate some while also realizing it's part of the game.
And our last question to Justin.
So we asked Michael Wiley the other day if there was a comparison for Jaden, and he couldn't come up with one. What's your comparison for Jaden that you coached or seen?
Oh, a football comparison?
Yeah.
I think that he has traits of a lot of players out there. He has traits of a Patrick Mahomes where he can make plays off schedule on a consistent basis. He's not afraid to throw the ball at any given moment. I give him the Brett Favre comparison, where he has a toughness about him. He has a competitive stamina that he's okay with. He has such great confidence in himself that if he makes a mistake or turns the ball over, that's not going to affect his ability to go back out there. I think that you look at a lot of these players, I'm not going to give comparisons of like guys we don't know, right? Or bad players. That wouldn't be a comparison we'd want to do. So we're always going to pull from the great ones that are out there. But we watch a lot of Jalen Hurts. We watch a lot of Patrick Mahomes. We certainly talk about the Favres of the world. And the biggest thing for him is, he makes wild plays, but I tell him, you don't need to be Superman. Just be Batman. Use your tools.
All right.